to rat anybody out.
Hey,
everyone.
Back to Old Reader, New Reader. We got a little distracted talking
A little
about
bit.
a little bit.
Hairdressers, how much
We
paid
don't
for
get to see
hairdo.
each other anymore. Normally, there would be hangout. There would be probably a party or two, right? And we don't get to do that. So
Yeah.
we catch it right before the show, and then we run late. That's what happens.
Yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's right. We haven't done a show since last year, and I'm not coming off as a joke.
You didn't do a show you didn't do a live on New Year's January 2nd?
We didn't do Old Reader, New Reader.
No, I did a show on Saturday.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so we haven't done a show since the New Year.
We have not done a show since the New Year.
Yeah,
So
I've done one.
Yeah, which makes sense considering that it's only on Tuesdays and the New Year started on a Thursday. So
does it?
Yeah, it makes sense that we have to start our first one.
I'm so lost.
Something urgent must have come out at the Council of Omars. That's a relevant joke. Good job.
Yeah. I made that joke. Okay, really quick. So I got a couple of things to say. Number one, this is not an announcement of a Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman reprint.
If people think that's what it was, I'm so sorry.
If people think that this is what this is, I'm sorry. Please do not dislike the video. That's not on me. It's not my fault. That's all I'm going to try to say. And then I'll have a little announcement to make at the end of this video, so if you want to stay tuned. Not about reprints or anything like that. So.
Is it about Fantastic Four? Is it about the Fantastic Four movie?
It's about the It's about the Fantastic
Four. Guess what? We're in the new movie.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Amanda's.
Let's gender swap. I'm invisible, dude. Because that's an awesome power to have.
Can I be Reed Richards still? Because I want to have the new.
You can be Elastigirl.
Arms.
Oh wait.
That is what Elastigirl. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You could be the Human Torch.
Who you want to be, Maddie?
I'll be Johnny.
You just want to be Johnny?
I'll be Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the Human Torch.
No,
you just want to be a dude named Johnny.
I'll just be She-Hulk.
Oh, we're going with some John Byrne.
She-Hulk is on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Nocturne, you're spreading lies. The 2005 Fantastic Four movie was not good. Did we review that?
We did review that, and we said it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't. It was that bad.
I agree that it's good for what it was. It was a different time of superhero cinema. We are blessed today.
Maddie's so forgiving. Look, we already have a dislike because I made that announcement. Or like, really?
I don't know if that is because of the announcement. That could be a bot. Let's not get crazy here.
Sometimes people see my face and they're like, no.
Who would say that about you?
All the time.
Okay, actually, I can think of 5 people.
Harry Potter stuff, and they're like, oh, she still supports J.K. Rowling. Dislike. Yeah, but those are wands, unless people think I just have weird sticks hanging up.
No, that doesn't look like wands from back here. Like it looks.
What does it look like? Little dildos? Like, what do you think they are?
We would get more views if we had dildos.
I was not gonna go that route at all.
My books are almost ready downstairs, and I'm so excited.
Nice.
We're so close.
To be done.
I think there's going to be more Marvel Omnibuses purchases this year for me.
Nice.
It's going to happen. Because right now my Marvel collection is very small, but I think this is the year.
This is the year? Yeah. Well, I did, make an announcement, and we have like 46 different Omnis coming out this year between the months of January to August, just from Marvel. Yeah.
Is it just because they're making up for lost time, or?
Well, it's kind of sad when I'm looking at some of the releases. Like I was doing an overview of Eternals, and I was like, "Man, that's right." I'm looking at the Omnibus of Eternals, and this was supposed to be the time that the movie was supposed to have already come out. And the same thing
for 2 months by now.
I mean, there is nothing but Eternals this month, and all that was delayed. It was originally supposed to come out last August. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of stuff for U.S. Agent, which that's still coming. A bunch of stuff for Wanda and Scarlet Witch and Vision. So all that stuff is still coming. Fine. So okay, what are we talking about tonight, ladies?
Fantastic Four by Hickman, but we have split it up because it is lengthy, as Hickman tends to be. So we have for this week. The remainder will be for next week.
Yes.
From what I've heard from a lot of people, like when we read Hick Avengers, I was not a fan, really. Like there's a lot I liked, there's a lot that I just didn't super gel with. And everyone's like, don't worry, Fantastic Four is where it's at. So I was excited for this because I've never read Fantastic Four outside of them being around in other things like Hick Avengers.
Yeah, mainly the Hick Avengers, right? Yeah, because they weren't even in a lot of the more modern stuff we've read, they haven't really been. War of the Realms, they weren't really a big part of it and stuff like that because they just kind of came back out. So with Dan Slott, so yeah.
Thank you, Justin Wilson, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip. He has not read the book.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. Good on Justin for reminding us to remind you guys that, yes, we will be talking about spoilers. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like being spoiled, unlike me, then please log off now and come watch this again later on once you have actually read Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah. So let's see. Really quick, what was going on around this time was Jonathan Hickman actually was kind of a no-name at Marvel Comics during this time. During this time, he had written this series called Secret Warriors, and it was hit and miss for some people. Some people really love it. I know people that haven't picked up the Omnibus really want to read it, and I would love for that Omnibus to be reprinted. And the Fantastic Four were written by Mark Miller. He took a leave, and then eventually somebody else wrapped up his run, but that was the run like right before this, because before that we had Mark Waid, we had JMS, we had Dwayne McDuffie, who's one of my most favorite underrated runs on Fantastic Four. Then we had Mark Miller, and then eventually we got this run right here. So Jonathan Hickman came in and started off the series with a mini-series during the Dark Reign era of Marvel. And the Dark Reign era, really all you need to know about that era is that Marvel was pulling a Lex Luthor with the character of Norman Osborn, whereas Lex Luthor in the DC universe had become this, he's always been the antagonist to Superman, but he was kind of growing in popularity with the people. He became president of the United States at one time, President Lex. And that's kind of where Marvel was heading with Norman Osborn, trying to make him a good guy, giving him his own Thunderbolts. And that's leader of Hammer, which is kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D., but a little rougher around the edges, if you will. So that's kind of where this starts. It starts off with that 5-issue mini, or it's 5 issues, right? Yeah, 5 issues. Series called Dark Reign Fantastic Four. But within that miniseries, something important happens that I think we need to talk about. So this is complete collections, trade paperbacks, single issues, digitally, and an omnibus, hopefully one day to be reprinted. So we know where we go from here. Amanda, what happens next?
I can take this.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Maddie, you take the reins, Maddie.
It gets a little complicated when we get to the second part of what we read, but this part
we can help you with that.
Pretty easy to take care of.
Yes, start with the Dark Reign stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we start with like the Fantastic Four family having to move. From what we understand, yet again, everybody in the family is a little upset about it. They're all kind of dealing with it in different ways. And poor, Sue just wants the house be put together before the kids get home, which ultimately does not happen because, everyone's either lazing about or, you're Reed and you're getting distracted by a new idea. Right. And so he's like, I was doing this and it led me to this. And I had this idea and I need to do this right now. And like, okay, fine, whatever. So like the rest of the F4 crew goes down to join him, right? And see what's going on. He's like, don't worry, I'm just gonna tell you something really quick. And ultimately he opens up this gate that brings him to meeting, like he wants to open up this gate so he can see what went wrong in the universe. Find this way to connect and see all of the other universes, kind of in a way that like Doctor Strange did, sort of in like our Endgame movie in a way. Mm-hmm. Trying to like link it to something that's approachable. People may already know this, haven't read this. So he does this and he narrows things down like, okay, how many other like places had civil war like we did? How many of those were successful? Like successful, was it like peaceful? How many were not? Of those, how many were brought about from a collective action? How many were brought about by just me? And he found a correlation between all of those where it was like, okay, the ones that were more successful, peaceful, whatever, were the ones where I, Reed Richards, have taken like, I've made the decision. Which seems a little cocky, but he's found it to be true.
This is a really good question.
Yeah.
Do you all take notes while reading? I feel like I would have to take notes to remember everything.
Sometimes.
That's the beauty of this show. I think there are one of us does, and that's Amanda. She writes notes in books sometimes.
Yes.
I don't remember important things in my life, but I do remember the first time we saw the Council of Reed. So no, I don't write anything down. It's all up here, and I forget to pick up my kids from school. That's the kind of thing.
I wrote one note, and that was that the art was weird in issue 574. That was my only note I wrote for myself.
Was it a different artist?
We have to talk about the art. Actually, there's two things in particular I want to talk about, but go ahead.
The fact that one of the Reeds in the Council of Reeds looks like Jeff Bridges, because that's the first thing I thought of the first time I read it.
Not all bald
2 years
white
ago.
dudes with a beard look like.
He looks like it. He's drawn like it. Don't fight me on that.
I will fight you off that. Yeah.
He looks
all right.
like.
So before we get to the Council of Reeds, a couple other things are happening while he's doing this. He's doing his analyzing. So at the same time, the power goes off. I don't know whether this has an effect of what happens to the rest of Fantastic Four at the time, but so while he's doing this, the rest of the crew, the rest of the team is basically being thrown in this like sort of parallel universe deal.
Go take care of your lady, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Where they keep seeing themselves as like just different versions of themselves in possible universes, I think. So like Westerns or like more like Civil War, but make it medieval. And so like that's a kind of a fun bit to have on the side. So that way, while Reed's doing his thing that's going to come back later, they're kind of having a confusing but kind of fun time for the reader. And also, third crew, we have the kids, which I love seeing. I love the kids. I was really like after reading Avengers coming back to this, I was like, yes, I care about them way more than everybody else. They are left in the building by themselves to fend off from Norman Osborn who shows up. So as all this is going on, eventually Reed is able to connect to another universe and figure out about the Council of Reeds. Is this already happened, or is that after he rebuilds the system?
After he rebuilds the system, he finds them. Okay,
got it. So everything ends up getting solved. They show up in time. He turns off the machine in time to connect with, or like the other team and save the kids from Norman Osborn, who's just being there to be annoying, basically. And Sue's like, hey, quit it. Stop putting us all in danger. We just got here. Shut down the machine. And he's like, okay. So he did. He didn't lie, but then he rebuilt it. And through that, he went the Council of Reeds.
Because that's a loophole. I mean, he technically didn't lie.
Right.
In Sue's eyes, or even Val, when Val's like, Daddy, you're a big dro.
That's on Sue. That's on Sue, though. I mean, she decided.
I loved I love seeing Council of Reeds, because basically this is like Reeds from all over these different universes that got together.
Hey, hold on. Email me at nearmincon@gmail.com. Please.
Yes.
I've been talking to you on comments, so yes, please hit me up there. Go ahead, Maddie.
No problem. So he meets the Council of Reeds from all these different universes. These are different. Like, this is, if you've watched the Flash TV show from CW, this is very much like the Council of Wells, H.G. Wells, like very much like that. So all these like geniuses were able to get together and talk to each other. The big difference is that they don't hang out with their family, right? They're like, nah. That person
like Jedi or monks, they just relate with their family for the greater good.
And they're all very different.
Multiverses.
Not all of them are like our Reed Richards that has stretchy powers. Some of them have powers like other people in his family. Some of them have no powers.
Big heads with big brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's multiple Reed Richards, and all their whole purpose is to
some of them have the Infinity Gauntlet.
Some of them do. That's the big thing. There's
three
like
of them
four
have
of
the
them.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that have the Infinity Gauntlet, and their whole goal is to solve everything. And as they're taking Reed on this tour, they're showing him how they've built their own world where they're harvesting food for millions of people. And these are things they're doing, but of course they have to give up their family, which is something our Reed that we in our universe, 616, I guess we'll say, just cannot do. But just as Reed's thinking about like what's he going to decide to do, they're attacked by the Celestials, who are like, "Ooh,
they figured it
out. Taking too much power. We can't have that." And so he manages to escape as they're getting the Council of Reeds is getting attacked by the Celestials. So the Council of Reeds storyline for the time being at that point is kind of wrapped up, where Reed is like realizes his mistake, because what's happening is he's spending every night in this room, right? In his secret room. Sue's worried about her husband. Like, what are you doing? And he's locked himself in there to go explore with this council and see what they're all about. And I think after that experience, he's realized, okay, I need to not worry about this anymore, especially when the Celestials start attacking. So he kind of like,
you're going to be back. So you'll always be back. Susan can understand. You're going to be back eventually. Your kids will resent you.
Yeah.
You'll be back.
You'll be back. And one of the cool things or interesting things that comes later on, back, cycles back, is every Reed from every multiverse ends up at some point defeating their own Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom, and making them.
Cool part.
Yeah, they put like this collar on him to control him, make him like a mindless zombie type of thing, this like following them. So that comes back around.
Which Arby is not about. He's like not about that at all.
Like, right.
He seems like the most level. Of course, 616 characters have to be the most level-headed characters.
Yeah. I know our Peter Parker would be the same versus any of the other multiverse Peter Parkers.
I can't show this comment, but it's a really good comment from Nocturne. Because it was hidden. Because it's because YouTube automatically pulls it because it's got a curse. But anyway, he's saying the shit Sue puts up with when it comes to Reed. Girl, love yourself.
I like Jay's comment is Reed is the worst, and Namor will accept your calls. Sue.
Exactly.
Dude, what about Namor when he's like, shit, when he's getting smacked by her, he was like,
I'm the queen.
That's my kind of woman.
Like,
But can I just say, this is a vast improvement of the Fantastic Four Sue we read in the Galactus, whatever the what is that?
Okay, wait. We're talking 50 years of difference.
I don't
here.
care. This is a hell of a lot better with Sue Richards.
And there was a little bit of progressive movement.
Some
of
the 60s and 70s, I guess.
Okay.
But shoot. That's why I'd read this 2 years ago. So when we read that, the Galactus, the first coming of Galactus, I was like, this is not the Fantastic Four I remember from this Hickman run. So
it's the Fantastic Four that Hickman remembers.
Yeah, well, and he made a great.
All right, carry on. What happens next? Because a lot of things happen. Because while that is happening, while Reed is doing that, there is a little bit of a
lot of things are happening. A lot of
foreshadowing with Valeria. Now, one really cool thing about Valeria is her and Dr. Doom have a really cool relationship. Ever since I don't know if both of you had a chance to read the Mark Waid run, but
it's on my
Wade's run is so good because that really solidifies the relationship between Uncle Doom and Valeria, and it is so sweet. And there's a lot of beautiful moments in that omnibus. But in here, that's what Hickman is playing for, that relationship between Valeria and Dr. Doom, where he realizes how smart she is and he respects her. Now, Dr. Doom in JMS's run of was it FF or Hulk? Something he got brain damage. Dr. Doom got brain damage, so he's not as smart as he used to be. And Valeria makes a deal with him like, I will make you smart again if you help out. You don't know where that's going because there's so much laying the groundwork here in the first stages of this stuff that's happening. And there's a little bit of foreshadow with the time traveler character from Mark Miller. Was it Mark Miller's run? What is his name? Not Wells guy. He's the guy that shows up.
Ted?
Yes.
From New World? The creator of New World?
Yeah, so that was from Mark Miller's run.
Okay. Because I was I don't know if I'm supposed to know this.
And those characters, come back in this run, and they kind of warn Valeria of things to come later on with laying hints like one of you is going to die, you're going to be separated, these things are going to happen, and she knows, right? She's like, as these things are happening, she's like, oh no, we cured Uncle Ben. That's not going to be good because that means this is going to happen. So that's what I love about this too, is a writer that knows that he's going to be writing the book for a while and therefore can start foreshadowing and playing the long game, which is
what
I like to do.
Yes, Hickman loves long games.
But not a lot of people get that, right? Not a lot of writers get that. Yeah. Matthew Rosenberg started doing that with X-Men, and then damn, before you know it, this dude named Jonathan Hickman takes over your X-Men book, and you're like, what about all the stuff I set up a year ago?
Too bad. Hickman's taking
I mean, there's a reason why Chris Claremont's my favorite writer. He set up shit 17 years he didn't even resolve. 17 years, and other writers had to come in and resolve it because he wasn't done.
Yeah.
Now, Omar, how's Mark Miller's run? It's okay. He was bored with it. He didn't even finish it. It was a different writer.
I'm trying to see if Bruce is telling us to stay on target or not.
Bruce knows I don't stay on target.
I will say regardless, we won't be able to be in depth.
Have you read this, Bruce?
Here.
Hey, Hickman. Listen, you know how Hickman is.
I was going to say, if you read this, you know he don't stay on target. He's all over the place with time traveling.
Oh my gosh, so much time travel. He loves time travel. It's like his favorite thing. Now,
but it works. It's a good trope.
Question, Omar. East of West came out before, after, around this time. When did he write East of West?
It was after. It was after FF.
Okay, I was curious.
Now that's a little more dense, but I love it.
Well, yeah, I was curious as far as his popularity, like where that came into play versus.
One of my favorite things about Hickman that he does, and it's kind of pompous, but I don't care, is that he thinks you're smart just like he is. That you can figure this out.
He really does.
Yeah, seriously. Like he thinks the reader's going to be smart. Fuck it. If it's going to take you 6 issues to figure it out, you will get there together. And I love it. All right, let's go ahead and go back to this.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the relationship between Doom and Valeria because I think it's important in this run too.
I agree. So there's a lot of stuff that happens kind of throughout the issues here concurrently, I guess, if you could say. So you have, the first thing in the beginning, the first thing we're introduced to is them defeating the wizard, and he has all of his, which is a villain of the Fantastic Four, I'm guessing. So, and he's also a very smart man too, who can see things, kind of sense things that are coming. And he had cloned himself multiple times. And he has one clone, which is 22, 23, 22 is 32. A number 32. And he eventually becomes Bentley, which is the real name of the wizard. So he's the only clone that's really alive at this point and functioning, and it's a child version of the wizard. So they take him in. So you have him living at the Fantastic Four at the Baxter Building. You have Valeria and Franklin. You have Johnny and Ben, and you have Sue and Reed, and then you have other people show up as they start to go on these adventures. For example, the Mole Man comes and intrudes on the Baxter Building. It's like, I need your guys' help because the High Evolutionary or the Thinker had created this machine, and it had down in the deep depths of the earth that super evolved some of his Moloids. So some of his Moloids have gone on their own, have gone on the higher brain functions, and most of the children were killed.
Is this before or after Val learns about the whole Four Cities thing happening?
Oh, with her brother, her future brother coming in?
That's before.
Okay, so that happens first, and then this happens, and then we learn.
So yes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. What Amanda's saying happens before.
Oh, okay.
And then Val comes. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens with that is Ben is trying to save these kids, these little Moloid kids that have been left behind, that have been evolved from whatever the Mole Man has, and he ends up getting this weird uber forehead for a while, the evolved.
Oh yeah. It's like a super humanoid head.
Which will go back to normal after a few hours, I guess. But Johnny's always ragging about it.
Because he puts it at the end of each issue, hay or some side of. it comes back later. Okay.
Oh my gosh! And then Yes, and then at another point, so you have those Moloid kids come back, and now they're living at Baxter Building.
Love
You also have the android gargoyle of Diablos that has been
Okay, first of all, Dragon Man is not a
Dragon Man.
gargoyle.
I'm sorry. I didn't really
I had no idea.
I didn't know what he was, but I had to look it up to
I
figure out
feel
he was
so offended
Looks
sometimes.
like that character from Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Ripley?
He was like he reminded me of the Giles of a gargoyle. Like he had the glasses.
That whole I think that birthday issue, even though the art was weird,
Oh,
was my favorite.
When Spider-Man comes.
Okay, wait.
We're jumping around.
I do have a question.
Okay.
About the birthday issue.
Yeah.
But first.
Also, can I talk about how excited I was?
Dragon Man.
Okay, Dragon Man. Sorry,
and then the Power Pack kids come in, and that hits me right here.
Yes.
Because the Power Pack is what I grew up with.
He could change reality. Is that his power, kind of?
Franklin's?
No. Alex. Alex Powers from the Power Pack.
During this time, I think he's got flight. Him and his.
No, but he was doing weird stuff with his hands, and as he would dissolve,
I don't know.
Well, okay.
Is it just flight?
No. The powers can change power, so I couldn't remember who had what during this time. Katie had the power of mass, anti-mass. You can pick up anything. Okay. How did you all read this digitally, right? Or you have the trade?
Well, I originally read just the FF on trade. I had to read the rest of it digitally. I didn't have it.
So there's one word that happens twice here by Valeria, and I was like, if they reprint that, could they do it again?
The R word.
The R word?
Yeah. Because
I know. The
way that she delivers it.
It's a cool moment, right? When she says it again, when she's because she knows
happy birthday. Yes.
And oh god, it made me so uncomfortable. I just Val.
You had to read it twice, man. Actually, you're who I thought of when I was reading this. I was laughing, and I'm like, I know Maddie's not having a good time now.
Well, it's what, 99, 2000 when this comes out. So I understand. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fault a book for using certain language when it comes out.
No,
you have to be aware. We have to lock and key.
Exactly.
What if it came out now?
They wouldn't use that word. No, but it reminds me of I've been watching old episodes of Survivor, and so the 2005, 6, 7 episodes, they'll say the R word, and I'm like, you could not. And then there's other circumstances you could not use that. None of these circumstances would work in television. People would call you out so fast just because it's predated. I was like,
Val would never.
No, not this. No, it's just she's a product of her time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, I won't follow.
Adult Val of now, she's in her 40s now. Probably she would never. Or maybe she's not in her 30s. Maybe she's the 30s now because it's 1999 and she's 5.
Okay, what's it 99, guys? This is 2007.
The birthday issue is the best. The end.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you that. It was solid.
She's amazing. Yes. But anyways, the birthday was great. I didn't realize I forgot how much how much Spider-Man was in Fantastic.
Oh yeah, he plays a big role later on.
I was like, I forgot. This is why I felt this run is the reason why I've always wanted to see Fantastic Four on the big screen, so I could see a Johnny Storm and a Spider-Man interact on the big screen. That's half the reason I've always wanted that back, is so I could see that interaction, because God, I love Johnny Storm and Spider-Man. The rivalry. Johnny Storm doesn't understand why Franklin, all he keeps talking about is Spider-Man's his favorite superhero, and there's one issue where he's like, it's my favorite superhero, I love Spider-Man. He's like, what about the Human Torch?
He gets his later. Also, I love that Johnny is the whole
with the toy maker, and he's
Wicked using his powers, and Johnny's like, oh shit, wait a minute, y'all didn't tell me.
Yeah,
I was like, Johnny was pretty obvious. Everybody knows. Where you
Franklin got his powers back. Yeah,
he's had them.
Artie and Leech are also part of the Fantastic Four Future Foundation, which were some of my characters from X-Men. Artie was X Factor, and Leech was one of the Morlocks. And then Herbie the Robot, for all of us who watched the Fantastic Four cartoon and were pissed off that, was it the Human Torch that got replaced by Herbie the Robot in the cartoon? can't remember, either Human Torch or the Thing. So a lot of people hated that character for years. So back to this complicated, amazing
story.
The only way you can quickly wrap this up is that like
there's just multiple stories.
Hears about the 4 cities.
Yes, she hears
from the future.
The future, and
from
there's
her future brother.
Yes, from her future brother, and so you have like there's one whole issue dealing with the future Val and future Franklin. And Franklin, they're trying to prevent
and future Grandpa
yes, Nathaniel
Grandpa, Richard. Just regular Grandpa.
Yeah, it's just his great. Yeah, but he's traveling.
I'm going to talk about the complexity that is Kang conquered. No. This was long before Hickman. This is
really?
The whole Immortus, Kang, all that was.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, like, okay, so not only are there like a ton of Reed Richards hanging out, right? There's also like a ton of Reed's dad.
Yes.
that actually makes sense though, because that's been part of the Fantastic Four for.
Oh, okay, like I didn't mind it. It's just like okay. They're all hanging out in some pocket universe.
There's a question I haven't seen in the chat for a long time. What the hell? Jack.
Because I do CrossFit and.
Okay, first of all, she hasn't done CrossFit in like 3 months, and I've been lifting like crazy.
Still lift. So I doubt that.
I agree with Michael. I really appreciated the prophecy, and I liked picking it together once they went out, because you hear about this, right, told to Val, and she's not actively involved in this part of it, but like her family's going to the different cities, and so we as the readers are like, okay, so this is the next city. So like, she goes to Atlantis and meets this group, goes to see the Inhumans group, right?
In Adelan,
which confused me at first, because I was like, but they all have their own city. Okay. And then you see it all kind of pulled together. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, now the war is going to happen, which did feel kind of quick.
It kind of did happen all quick, because it was pretty much right after. So in the whole Fantastic Four, like these issues, for the majority of they're introducing all these. Hickman introduced all the concepts of first they have to. There's this like secret cult that's really the Annihilus cult, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of plays a part up until the end of this, I guess, saga for the first part of the Omnibus. Then you have the Inhumans are coming down with Adelan. They have now emerged, and Black Bolt has 5 wives. I did not realize that. I thought he had Medusa, but apparently there's like more women that he's also his queens.
Well, are they not really married, right? It's just like they happen to like.
They're like other Inhumans, like they're other type of Inhumans, I guess. Also from whatever the Kree had created, right?
Yeah.
Other beings that the Kree had tried to evolve, and they're not of humans, but they're of different worlds. And then you have the Atlantis. You have these old kings of Atlantis who have risen up. So then Sue is made their emissary. So that's one of the plot points, and she is called away to deal with it because Namor's like, "Who are these people?
Well,
I'm the king of the seas."
Right after she meets them. And which is, I guess, like, is the reason why Sue stepped up is because of her relationship with Namor. Because, like, she's like, no, I have to be the one.
I think that's why. That's what I would, yes.
Right at the end of that issue.
And Reed has so much on his plate being Reed Richards.
Yeah, we get that.
He was locking himself in the room.
Yeah.
Like, he was talking to Sue from inside of his room going, I promise I'll be done.
Yes.
Like, and she's used to this kind of life.
I did like at the end of that issue, because we get those like little blue pages, which later we see Val writing, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Say like what kind of happened, like a little context from Hickman. And on that one, it's like Sue reaches out to Namor. He hasn't returned her calls yet about it. Which I really liked.
Me too. And then you have the Adventures of New World, right? And you have where Johnny and Ben were trying to visit New World just for a getaway, which is the world that Ted had created.
And it's a getaway because the kids had created a formula to let Ben turn back into human form, right? And because they hadn't discovered it years ago, like her talking about the faults of her father.
Yeah.
It's not long lasting. It only lasted a week.
Well, it's such a good explanation, right? She's like, where my dad failed is that he tried to cure you completely, but instead of been thinking about an on and off switch like they have for their abilities, which was great. And also,
and it's a good loophole to get him back.
Like he turned into human for like a week, right? And they still like, okay, we need stuff. I'm like, Ben, you should have not even been involved in anything. You need a break.
Yeah, just go take a break.
Vacation. Don't
just
do anything else.
Ben, normal human guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And New World is like on the verge of getting destroyed, and you have that whole issue going on. And there's all these different stories. Then you have Valeria, finding out after, her visit from her brother. So her brother from the future comes into the Baxter building, and he manages to keep everyone else out so he can go visit Valeria and tell her what he needs to tell her. And, of course, he leaves as soon as he comes. So her parents are like, what's happening? Nothing's, they're like, who was that? Because they don't know who it was. They never really find out.
Yeah, New World was from the Miller and Brian Hitch.
Well, in that point, he kind of looks like that guy from a New World. So, like,
he looked like Ted, a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
It's because of the art too. I mean, it's very similar.
Something.
Just like that guy looking like Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens next? Because
I mean, it all kind of culminates, right? It all kind of culminates with while Ben is. So a lot of things start to happen at once. Galactus. So one big thing that we learned throughout this whole thing is that in the very, very far future, Reed has to just kill Galactus in order to use his power source to keep Earth going, right? So he buried this dead Galactus way, way down deep in the Earth, and
that's
somehow
that's in the Jeff Loeb storyline, where it's an alternate reality Galactus, an alternate reality future.
Yes, and so he buries him down deep. The Silver Surfer, I guess, gets wind of it, goes and sees the carcass, and alerts his master. So now Galactus has come to Earth. He takes Reed. He's like, okay, we had the conversation. I need to figure out how to prevent this from happening. Y'all know you guys don't kill me. So he takes him off. Sue is then alerted to the fact that Namor is basically, he's coming to visit the Atlanteans, and maybe they're going to work out a peace treaty thing. So she leaves. So now we're left with Johnny and Ben, who's a human right now, and they are basically watching the kids, the future Foundation kiddos. And little do they know, the cult of Annihilus has now summoned their true forms and descend upon the Baxter building because they want access to the negative zone so they can unleash their huge army into our world and, of course, annihilate everything because that's what Annihilus does. So now we have Johnny and a human Ben. It is, Jada. It is something else to be old.
You got to be just as smart as Jonathan Hickman.
I don't think that's what that is.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, here's the thing. How many years have we been doing this show? And how many times have we finished 20 minutes into the show going, well, that's it. Let's talk about our week.
Yeah, but that's okay.
And I realize it's an omnibus, but there's just so many freaking things happening.
I enjoy this, but I don't want to say that equates to good.
Absolutely, you're right.
Yes, you're right. Okay. But anyways, so what happens is, so now at the Baxter building, you have the kids, you have Johnny, you have Ben, all fighting the Annihilus,
that part was really
wave.
Cool.
That was a really cool scene because basically the idea is they need to trap them all in. They have to shut the negative zone down. And the only way to do that is because Valeria's like, my dad's so dumb. Like, I have to go on the other side. I have to go on the other side to the negative zone, and I have to turn basically a self-destruct key, but someone has to stay behind, right? So the kids are there, her, Bentley, I think, and Alex. No, Franklin's on the other side, I think. So they're over there. I know they called the Avengers in to come and help. Of course, Reed and Sue are still off doing their own adventures. Reed is trying to save New World from being destroyed by Galactus, who's like, oh, so this is what happens? Okay, well, now I have to, as retribution, kill this whole world or eat this whole world. But And Reed's like, no, I have to save everyone. And then Ted's like, wait, no, I did save everyone. Their consciousness have been uploaded to Natalie X, so we're good. So why are you so worried about it, Reed? Meanwhile, you have Sue in Atlantis trying to do this whole peace treaty thing. Yes.
Really quick, when this issue came out, it came in a black bag, not like Superman, not like the black bag where Superman died, but it came in a black bag because they didn't want people at the comic book stores opening it up to see which the character dies, because we knew one of the Fantastic Four was going to die. People that had read comic books for 3 years and longer knew one of the Fantastic Four was going to die and come back. That's just the way these things work. But there were people that were genuinely upset when this happened. They were like, oh my gosh, you're going to kill one of the Fantastic Four. So
I want to say that Arya does make a good point that it's tough because the FF run sees ideas that come into play much later, like in Secret Wars, which is true.
Yeah, and one can say that all of this started with Secret Warriors. All of this started with Hickman's Shield. If you're reading Shield, his Ultimates, this, Hickvengers, and then Secret Wars, the payoff is so much better. It's like he was writing his own little secret corner of the Marvel universe, but he was able to play with all the toys. Whereas a lot of writers don't get that chance.
And he was.
Which breaks my heart, because I wish a lot more writers
have that opportunity. Yeah.
I think so, but they also have to limit that, right? It can't be everybody.
No, absolutely. But I do think
that's their flagship titles.
There's people that give some preferential treatment that probably don't need to, and it limits. There's some, and this is changing.
I know.
There's some voices that are very good in Marvel and DC that don't get the chance to really explore, and that I wish that they did.
Oh, absolutely. They're called contractors.
As a manga, reader, I'm very blessed, but I don't get to see the payoff of so many stories. But anyway, sorry, that's neither here nor there. But yeah,
we'll come back to that. That's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So who decides to stay?
Ben originally decides to stay, but Johnny, of course, can't let that happen. So he pushes Ben through the portal and he shuts it down. And so Johnny takes one for the team and valiantly fights to the end, which it kind of plays in a big part because there is, in one of these issues, Freed does have a talk with Johnny about responsibility and about stepping up and about, kind of what kind of man is he going to be and what kind of man he needs to be, right? So this is Johnny's way, and he later on has like an "if I died" kind of thing, because there's an amazing the final issues of up to this point. There's an amazing issue where there's no real words spoken; it's just scenes of everyone dealing with Johnny's death. So they were. So
first, I want to show this shot though. This is such
a. Yeah, it was great.
So Steve Epting is the artist during this run, and it's kind of like Johnny's final stand right here.
Oh, it's amazing!
And it's just this beautiful, and it's Steve Epting, so he is a trained artist. He's been drawing comics for 2 decades by the time he did this, and it's just this badass moment closing in on Ben's face, and then
I know
flame on.
As it's closing,
and then just getting like devoured by the Annihilation negative zone. Now this is after the Annihilation event too. This when this takes place. Annihilation took place in 2005. This is around 2007. So we have a new Annihilus, that little baby Annihilus that we saw towards the end of Annihilation. Yep. That's kind of who's in charge now. So yeah, Johnny dies, and Amanda's right. By far, that's my favorite issue. It's the issue where
beautiful.
And the talk
Franklin and Franklin
and Spider-Man.
And then but also that Reed and Sue, that moment with Reed and Sue where she has she has shielded herself, and he just wraps his arms around as much as he can, like a rubber band ball almost around.
Yes,
that little,
exactly.
I thought it was beautiful.
There's a lot of moments that don't have dialogue, and I think that's perfect for.
And Val just
this kind of media. Dude, that ending. That ending is one of my favorite endings of any comic book, where everybody's mourning their own way, and then you're right. We get to what the kids are doing, and step 1 is destroy Annihilus. So I'm in the middle of the show. I love you. I was just talking about how much I love this kid, and I love you. You're just as smart, if not smarter.
Yes, that's where we stopped. To leave the rest for next week, which is an interesting thing to do because with Hickman, I mean, it is lengthier, so you have to break it up in parts. But usually, it's the payoff at the end of the run for Hickman that really identifies what you feel the most.
Okay, so the Omnibus ends with the FF issue 4. and that's
Oh,
what
you're talking about Future Foundation. So
yeah. So
there
Future
are
Foundation, there's a lot of things that happen, but it's basically the main thing that happens is Doom is joining them. Doom is joining how
it's
they
the return of the
going
Council of Reeds as well.
yeah, and how they're going to destroy Reed Richards. So it's not just Doom. They get like the Mad Thinker. They have all these characters.
The Wizard comes back. Diablo comes back.
Look, man, I've read it yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
the Omnibus. I'm trying to put the list on there. I may have.
I read half of what you gave me. That was the thing.
All right, I'm on. All right. At least you read half, so that's good.
Yeah, we'll pick up with that because it does tie into a lot of the storylines that we discussed. We'll pick up with that first thing next episode because it does tie in those 4 issues of the Future Foundation. Not only do we get to see more Spider-Man, which I think Hickman writes him great too. I don't know why he hasn't written a Spider-Man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought he wrote a really good Peter Parker.
Yes, but also we get to see the Inhuman storyline kind of start to tie in. We get to see Doom storyline and how it ties in. We also get to see, that actual war that Valeria has been hinting at, and we get to see more of the Council of Reeds, but not the Jeff Bridges ones. I think he's already dead, but it's fine.
Okay, so before we give our review about the story and what we like, we didn't like, let's talk about this artwork because
I know.
So the Dark Reign art is Sean Chen, who to me sometimes he's hit or miss, and
it was okay. Yeah, that didn't do it for me.
Job done. How did you all feel about Del Eaglesham, who is the main artist at the very beginning, who draws everybody super muscular? He's the artist on JSA. He's drawn for many years, but I'm wondering. Yes, Leo, you can ask now, man. I'll read your comment, brother.
Okay.
How did you all feel about his artwork? Because I was always bothered by. So to me, Reed Richards is supposed to be really slim, right? Like at least
I didn't like
everybody's so super bucky.
He looked like he was like. Well, it made it a little confusing,
right?
Because I was like,
everyone's really super muscular.
Am I reading the right thing? But yeah, he was like too ripped and handsome. It was weird.
He was, yeah. It wasn't
like a black and white movie,
even look at this, like you cannot see that. But anyways,
blinded everybody.
I know his chiseled jawline and stuff. It doesn't seem very Reed Richards. Yeah, he has the white, he has his white sideburns and stuff like that, or sides of his hair.
I like him better skinny
stuff. Me too. The later artwork I prefer more than the
that's Steve Epting.
And that's Steve Epting, and that's what I prefer over the beginning.
I really didn't like the art in 574.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. Neil Edwards is an artist that to me is hit or miss, and there are some facial features in. Okay, let's talk about the issue that you're looking at. This one here.
Yeah.
Like with the kids, and I don't know what kind of face for up here.
So strange. Look at that weird girl with the red hair's face.
Like I know that's Katie, and she's supposed to be cute, but there are moments like right here, the second panel right here, it looks like Franklin is wearing a mask. Like he's not wearing a mask; he's just wearing his hat. Right?
She looks like she's like trying to.
And it's not. And he's sometimes I really enjoy his art, and then other times I don't know. It just seems really.
Well, even if you go forward, there's even Reed's face there when this is the issue where we see the future Reed or the future Franklin, and just like there's this one panel of Reed's face where he's like, no, he looks so cartoonish. It didn't fit with the rest of the story. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I did like Epting's. I think that.
Yes, Epting's was my favorite artwork by far, and he really, I think, captured what I would have always envisioned the Fantastic Four to look like and be. I think I liked his Val and Franklin as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got an email from somebody, and
are you not like a fan of that?
I have been emailing this person for the last year, and she finally got back to me.
Oh, okay,
that's really cool. I'll talk about that after the show. So I did like Steve Epting. Steve Epting is one of my favorite artists. I'm a huge fan of his art. He's the one that drew. He's the one that's drawing Future Foundation, the FF story. Mm-hmm. He's the one that drew the death of Johnny Storm in that one issue, in the final issue, which is freaking awesome. I love how just everything flowed together, facial expressions.
I love his Sue.
Beautiful scene. When Sue finds out that she was betrayed by Namor, why she, like, all of this just flowed together. And then when she bitch slaps him, and he's like, he's like, yeah, daddy, like, that was awesome. That was awesome. I love all this. This is so, you know, it's hit and miss with the artwork. For the most part, I enjoyed it. And overall, the story really carried this. Or I mean, it was Hickman's story that I was following. Now, let's talk about the story. What did you like? Who was the new reader? Because I know Amanda and I have read. You were the new reader, right, Maddie?
Maddie was. This is my second time reading it.
It's my third Hickman. My first time reading Fantastic Four at all, and my first time reading.
You read Fantastic Four with us. The
Galactus run.
Galactus.
Well, yeah, but like not like.
Okay, so this is
a longer run than that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I'll ask you first. As a newcomer to Fantastic Four, other than the 3 issues that you read from the 60s, what did you think coming into this? Like, was it complicated? Was it easy to follow once you got the story going? Did you follow characters and that's what kept you reading?
I think it's because I followed characters and that was coming reading. There's a lot I really, really liked about this, which happens with Hickman. And also I really, really like the family, and I love Val. And I have the benefit of having read Hick Avengers and Secret Wars. So like I have a closer relationship to her, and understanding of her and her capabilities going into this. So already I'm really excited to see the kids. I will say that like there's a lot that I really, really liked about and got excited about. I really liked when like the future selves came back and like tried to warn them about things. That really got me excited to read the run. I do still feel like Hickman overcomplicates in places he doesn't need to. And that's not due to me not understanding. I do want to like preface that, like, because some people feel like, oh, well, you're just not smart enough to get Hickman. No, I understand everything that's at play. But I understand what he's doing. But I sometimes I feel like he loses himself and the narrative and like the strength he has in the characters and like the way it moves, where it loses the momentum in some ways, in a way that's not beneficial. But I also understand it could pay off later. These little details are important. But I've also seen writers do this kind of thing that Hickman does, but better. And so I see this and I'm like, everyone's like, oh, but he's always laying down all the plans. He's going to get there. I'm like, but other writers do that, and they do it very, very well. Mm-hmm. And I think he does a good job. But I still think he overcomplicates things and adds other things into things that he doesn't need to, that don't really add to the overall big picture, the genius of the picture, because I love the plans he lays down. I just still feel like he overcomplicated it in some ways that weren't needed. But the characterization of the family and everything, I loved. There's a lot of really cool things happening. And
it could be just the way he's telling the story that might make it seem.
That's what old reader.
I will say, Darkside, this is not new reader friendly.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No.
But both you and Amanda read this. Like, as far as new read. Okay, wait.
But we are not very
new or new to Fantastic Four?
I think if you were new to Marvel and big events, this is not new reader friendly. I feel the same way about Hick Avengers. And I did when we read Hick Avengers. I don't think this is new reader friendly.
Really?
There's a lot happening here that if you don't already know some people, what's happening, like we already read, right? With, we know about like the Illuminati, right? And
yes, I know the future of it. Yeah.
Right. And we know about Doom. We know about that relationship. A lot of people may not. I do think that regardless, even if you don't know everything that's going on, you're going to connect with the family, want to follow them. So I think in that way, it's new reader friendly.
Yeah. Because you definitely connect very fast with the family, and I think that Hickman wrote them very well.
Very well.
He loved to throw in his gingerbread, trail, right? His trail of gingerbread crumbs to get to where his story is going to take place, and that can get, and it could be just the way he's telling the story, where he chooses, to put the information in what issues, which is what makes it confusing. But at the end of the day, at the core, he gets these characters. Like, I think he gets the Fantastic Four 100%. And now, granted, this is when I read it 2 years ago, it was the first time I read Fantastic Four beyond I'd read the Hickvengers before we even did the show, because that was also my second time reading that. So at this point, I had a little idea of, who Valeria and Franklin and everyone was, but I didn't get to see him interact like this.
In Hickavengers too.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like this better, and the other people do, is because he's centering on one family, one group.
Yeah.
Have this tie that's
but there's still so many very specific Fantastic Four, like previous events, previous characters that are thrown in there. Still, like the Dragon Man, because they don't really, I had to look him up, right? Or even Alex Powers, obviously the Moloids we knew because they were in the actual issues why they were there. Same with Bentley, but Alex Powers just also sudden is there too. So I was
I think that comes with comics in general.
It's like an intern.
I think so too. Yeah. This is the first time we've read comics that are there's just a random character that you should know and you just don't really know.
And that's the beauty of comic books, introducing you to other things outside, people that only read Spider-Man when they would cross over with the Avengers or Fantastic Four, that would be introduced to new characters they knew nothing about, other than, these are those Fantastic Four family people. Now we have the benefit of the internet, though. Now all you have to do is who is Alex Powers? Let's go ask Jeeves.
And that's exactly what
whatever the kids are using as a search engine, or Siri.
But if you just want to, if you at a core as a new reader want to know how the Fantastic Four family is, what their dynamics are, this shows it right there. There's no doubt about it. Hickman right away tells you who Johnny Storm is, what kind of person Ben Grimm is, how their relationship works. You get to see Sue and Reed and how their relationship works, what their relationship is to Johnny and Ben, and then where does Val and Franklin fit into this? You see that very quickly. Even Doom, just the brief interaction that Val has with Doom, you already can tell what his relationship is to Reed and Val and everything like that. It's so, while the details and stuff, or if you're not, I guess, used to reading Hickman's convoluted plot lines, it's not be new reader friendly. But if you want to get the gist of who the Fantastic Four are as a unit, I think Hickman's a great way to go, because he's going to show you characterization out the wazoo. He characterized these guys so well.
Well, now I'm interested in reading Wade's run.
Me too.
Ready. I love Mark Waid.
Yes.
Everything I read Mark Waid, I really love. So I'm curious, because I've decided that I only care about Fantastic Four if the kids are there. That's what I've decided.
Those kids are fantastic. I do like.
Franklin Richards is the kid that will never grow up. Franklin Richards has been the same damn age.
But he's not a mutant anymore, right? Or
we are not talking about that. I'll never forget Chris Claremont's face when I told him that. He was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
The Valeria, Chris Claremont's is the guy that created Valeria. He created her after Heroes Return. So that was after the whole Heroes Reborn thing, and she hasn't been around that many years, a couple of decades, compared to Franklin, who's been around since the 60s and has not aged. Literally, I think now in Slot's run, she's been aged more than he has, which is really weird. But Wade's run to me is my favorite Fantastic Four run. I followed by John Byrne, probably followed by this run here, and then probably Stan Lee. Tom DeFalco's run solid. With Fantastic Four, I don't know, a good jumping on point. There's just so much history. I think going back to the original Silver Age is a great way to start. I think there's good introductory periods. Even Mark Waid's period is kind of a good introductory period, but it isn't really the best jumping on point, because there are things that were previously happening to Doom or Galactus. Why Galactus was out of the picture that you would have to find out. So, we talked about the art. We talked about we talked about the story. I think the voices. My take on this is I loved it. I thought maybe it's because it makes me feel smarter than I really am. That when I'm able to put the pieces together.
Oh, I was like, just because you read it and got through it.
I get to the same answer that Jonathan Hickman was planning, and I'm like, aha! I called that. I must be a genius. I don't know. I don't think this is as complicated as most of his other stuff he has done.
Definitely still not as complicated as Hickvengers is way more complicated.
In Hickvengers, there were characters that were married and had babies in another book, and I was like, wait, what? That was real?
Yeah.
Or X-Men. I mean, even his
X-Men's kind of complicated.
Literally read everything going on in Dawn of X to kind of put his pieces together too, and his New Mutants. So At least it's not that. At least we just have to read this, and that was it.
Yeah.
What would you ladies give this out of 10? And anybody that has read this,
Yes.
please leave those comments down below.
And if you haven't, don't forget to like this video.
Yeah. I think it's a hard decision because, like,
we're halfway there, but
I think like a second. I can't say between
Just for
a 7
this
or an 8.
part, right? Just for the first
Just
one.
for this part, which could change because I'm all about the ending.
absolutely.
Yes, the ending is very satisfying. That changes the entire tone for me.
So I'm going to give it, I think I give it a 9.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Maddie?
Mm,
Be honest. That's what I love about you.
I'm going to do a 7.5. I
good.
really, really like the characters. I just sometimes Hickman does some Hickman things. I'm not.
Absolutely. He definitely has his tropes.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Most writers do. Most writers find that one little niche they're really good at. And
I really like it.
I mean, novelists do the same thing, like Stephen King.
They are, yeah.
Sticks to his formula, and I love it. But I can completely understand why it gets on people's nerves. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. This is a solid story. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to reread the second part. It'll be my third time rereading it. So
Yeah.
second time rereading it. Yes, reading it all together 3 times.
Gotcha.
Loved it. So what do we got here in the chat? We've got 8 out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10, 9, 9, 7, 8, 3 out of 4. Thank you, Michael, for making my
In
job.
honor of Kim killing Jenny's store.
I really like Jack Pierce, which is a 69 out of 420. So
Yes.
Yeah, Jack, okay. Somebody round that down. 9 out of 10, not as good as my Deadpool.
Round that
Harlequin
down.
fanfic. You have that? Send that over to us, and we'll.
Yeah, we'd love to read that.
Jack, I don't even know why the hell
We're
I highlighted it.
fanfic fans.
I haven't read it, but 10 out of 10. I got to keep Omar sweet. Thank you so
There
much.
you go.
I really appreciate that. I really do.
Elliot really wanted me to use the line
What?
fantastic bore during this, like, so I was supposed to be fantastic bore. He's like, more like fantastic bore, right?
Oh my god.
Easy 9 out of 10. How long have you been waiting to say this, Elliot? But out of 10. All
Yeah.
day?
Wait,
And-
Solar Arrow's giving us a little bit of a preview of what's to come for the next week.
Well, that's, and I'm
Payoff is good.
into that too.
And
I love the family. It's just a little side piece. So I was like, okay.
and yes, Burns FF did have his She-Hulk, and
This did have She-Hulk for like a minute.
I was just hoping when she was like, who are we going to replace Johnny with? And
Yeah.
She-Hulk and just race it. I was like, no, give me She-Hulk in here again.
Except they gave me Spider-Man, and that's fine.
me
They
not smart
replaced me with
enough
Spider-Man.
for his X-Men run. Well, no.
I like his X-Men.
It really isn't that complicated. I swear. I know I say that, but it really isn't that complicated. Like, my wife read it and she loved it, and she's not the biggest X-Men fan. I don't know why. Everybody should be, but
Well, I
I
like
think-
that they had the issues in order, which I guess they do a lot for events, like they're doing it for Future State. But like, it was nice to be like, okay, here's the layout. Here's what you read in order. And I was like, oh yes, structure.
while we're on the topic of Byrne, read his Namor run. Yeah, his Namor is solid. I love his Namor stuff. And past cast knowledge is helpful. Brian Braddock has butt for day. What is
I don't know.
Elliot started a whole butt rating thing.
Yes, he
Nightwing?
did.
Why has no one mentioned Nightwing then?
Yeah,
That's
Nightwing.
I don't know why you still
Dick
what was
Grayson's
that
butt is
picture
good. It's just-
of Dick Grayson doing like the butt pose. You
Yeah,
need it.
someone's got.
Why?
Yep.
Thank you, Jack. We appreciate that. I miss you too. Leo, where's your question?
Yeah, you said at the end of the episode you wanted to ask us something.
It's not complicated. My wife can.
Wow.
Woo, buddy.
Man, you better make sure you bought a comfy couch, dude.
Yeah, happy Future State Day, everybody. Well, not day, but
Yep.
week.
This is the day that the books premiere.
Yeah, so I didn't have time today, but I'm gonna check out at least Wonder Woman tomorrow. I don't have the money to support all of the issues because I wait for trades typically, but I was like, well, I want to make sure I'm committed to this new thing. At least try, like, make sure I am contributing to at least 1 or 2 of the series because it's only like 2 issues per thing.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure your wife is a good bit smarter than me, Omar. I need comics for 2 days. She's smarter than I am. My kids are smarter than me. I turned 17 January.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Jack,
I turned
think you're a
35
40
last week.
I think you're a
Yeah.
45-year-old man, Jack, and that's okay. January 1st, so you guys can sing me happy birthday. Has Omar even been the old reader? Has Omar ever been the old reader?
Always the old reader. Most of the time.
One time Maddie was.
Yes, I would
always.
say about 90% of the time, Omar's the old reader.
Yeah.
It's because of his lengthy time of reading comics.
That's
lengthy
it.
Is
not,
in the
not
age.
because of my age.
I mean,
I'm totally down to read X-Men 1991 because I was born that year. So
Shut the front door.
And I was only 5, and I didn't read
comics
comics.
What was that Terminator movie?
I was 6.
I was born when that
Terminator.
Maddie was born. I will never forget this when we were all sitting around and she was like, "What movie are you all talking about?" And we're talking about Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And you were like, "That's the day I was born." And I was like, "Holy shit, you were born on Judgment Day." And I just felt so old. Like so old. You made me feel so old then. We're all old readers in this together. It's okay.
Well, basically now, like the amount of knowledge I have about any of it is stupid.
Yes.
Harley's also a 91 baby. We don't need to throw our ages up there, making us old. People feel older. That's okay. Oh, there it is. There's Leo. Whew. Okay. Omar and Amanda, are you going to do something tomorrow?
Moonshine is not bad. Like Moonshine the drink?
Like the drink?
It's
pretty rough.
Leo's been trying to get me about Moonshine.
Yeah, gross.
Oh, wait, like real moonshine?
The book. No, I'll drink some moonshine. The book.
Oh, the book. I was like, the real moonshine? I'm not a fan of those type of alcohol.
I'm trying to think. The moonshine. I read the first trade. That's all right. I liked 100 Bullets better. It's the same team that did 100 Bullets. Omar, can we send you our shelfies and have you give us advice on how to
that's cool.
Yeah, that's something I was going to start on our Patreon.
I want to help. I want to look at shelfies.
You can help me. You can be feng shui.
I spent a good 50 minutes on Sunday because I'm setting up my downstairs. So I separate by type, but I separate by published or even for independent. So I think we'll see.
Come May, I've been reading comics for 50 years. That's amazing. It means 96 from 71 was my very first read. Do you still have that comic, Roy? That's really cool.
That is really cool.
I think we should read Black Hammer too, because I've only read part of it. And I would like to read Black Hammer. Really liked it.
Don't get Black Hammer confused with Black Science, though. Just in case. I remember somebody got that confused in our chat one day. I want to
finish and talk about it more because I liked it a lot.
You need a lot of help in intervention. Dude,
that's for sure.
I'm the intervention guy. What do you need, dude? What's up? Oh, okay. That's what you're asking, Leo. Maybe.
Not tomorrow. We're not doing tomorrow. Yeah.
This is nothing that's been out. People aren't putting out movies and TV shows, and we got tired of watching bad movies. So, there comes a time when you
can only say, was it really that bad? Yes, it really is.
It kind of answers itself, right? Like
after a while.
I just segue into what I was going to say. And, I've been doing this show for, oh my goodness, almost 3 years now.
That's so weird.
It is so weird. And the entire time I had the idea for the show, I had these two wonderful people in mind to do it with me, because I wanted people that I'm used to arguing with and people that did not agree with me on things to join me on this journey to do this show. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's brought a lot of joy into my life, getting some of these books out of my shelf, dusting them off and reading them again, rereading them, and introducing hopefully a lot of cool stories to these two wonderful people and to a lot of you all that read along with us. But there comes a time in your life when you love something so much, but you don't realize what it's doing to your mental health. and you need to take a step back and take a break. And so that's what I'm going to do. So next week will be my last old reader, new reader for a while. So, I do have a birthday in March, but I don't know if I want to come back that soon. And the thing is like, how much longer can I be the old reader? How much longer can I mean,
Sure.
Maddie and Amanda have both been reading comics for almost 3 years. I'm sorry, longer. They weren't introduced to comics because of this show. But this show means a lot to me. And I eventually do want to come back. But I think I need to take a break. And I think because of the way that the direction the channel is going, I need to take a break because this takes a lot for me sometimes to read. And
well, yeah, and you got, you're going really hard with the videos. You got a lot to read. Totally makes sense.
Yep, exactly. You got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I need to take a break for a while. And I think I'm leaving it in some really good hands. Like I'm leaving it with Maddie. She's gonna take over. She can be the old reader for a while, and bring along whomever she wants to. Amanda is, I don't know if she wants to stay or not. Like, it's up to her. But I think it's a good time for me to just step back for a little bit. So you all, enjoy the show. Don't stop watching because I'm leaving. I'm not leaving the channel. I'm just literally giving it to Maddie. So
thank you for passing the gauntlet.
Yeah, it's a rite of
passage. Old reader now. Look, I've acquired enough knowledge.
You definitely have, for sure.
Yeah.
And we're reading Star Wars this year. That's happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I won't be gone forever. I'll just be gone for a little bit.
And he'll still be on the show because he does all of the other shows.
I will be on the show.
He does all the other content. So
I will be on the show.
Do not worry.
The old reader doors are always open. Sometimes Amanda leaves for a while, comes back to it. Sometimes, Omar, both of you, it's here. It'll be here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for opening.
That's good.
Tina might show up. You never know.
Yeah.
You just, you keep it alive, keep it healthy, keep it safe, keep it hidden.
I can't keep plants alive that well, but I can keep the show alive just fine.
I think you can do it. But yeah, that's my big announcement. That's taking just a little break.
Clark Nato says, if Omar starts singing Vitamin C's graduation song, I'm lighting my neighborhood on fire.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know how to start that song.
I do. I don't want to start it.
So, yeah.
I wish I had prepared for that. I wish I had, but if you've known me, if you've ever picked me to be your best man, I don't ever prepare my speeches.
I asked Omar to officiate my wedding when that happened.
Yeah,
that's true. You did.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting. You know what? For one last time.
Oh, God bless you.
Yes. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, I needed that. Woo!
That's awesome.
So I will be back next week, though.
Yes.
And I will see you, Omar, for months. Okay. Are you coming up?
Yeah. I mean, we watched all these other shows.
And I'm on the Saturday show. I'm on the every Saturday show. We all be doing the movie shows again.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right, because part of
it's good for you guys to have it randomly.
It's hard.
Don't make yourself schedule it.
Well, yeah. I think with part of me taking a break, that also includes that too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because he has a lot of other obligations for the channel, especially with Marvel and everything like that. So it's kind of hard, and no one wants to talk about my stuff.
Wonder Woman 84, I'll talk.
Oh God, I actually do want to hear your thoughts on that because I actually fell asleep in the middle of it, so I never saw. I could rewatch it on HBO Max, but I have yet to rewatch it since I watched it.
I did see it in theaters.
Oh, that's right. You saw it on you had that big old theater thing. No, I fell asleep on my couch halfway through the movie, so I missed the middle part, but I saw the ending.
All right. I mean,
the beginning.
we can talk about it really quick about Wonder Woman. Is everybody?
No, we can't. We have to make that. That's
an hour-long thing because you want to get into everything.
An hour-long thing.
Well, there's so much to
really?
talk about with it, like what they could have done better. I don't know Maddie's thoughts on it, so I don't know.
I have a lot of thoughts.
You have a lot of thoughts.
Jiren the Goat. I'm sure I could get somebody to join in on that, but on my other channel, we are doing a One Piece 1,000 chapter challenge. Mm-hmm. I'm reading all of One Piece, rereading it this month. So all 1,000 chapters to celebrate One Piece 1,000 this month. So
yeah,
right.
And somebody asked, I think Bruce asked about bringing Jess in. I mean, every once in a while I'll bring in Jess. I can't talk about Wonder Woman or like Harley Quinn without Jess.
There you go.
You know?
I can't keep up with the OP challenge.
It's a lot, Philip.
That's a lot of reading.
It's too much. I'm sorry, Philip. It's you got to read as fast as Maddie. Dead Earth is better than Wonder Woman 84. I've not read it. I really need to.
It's on its way. I'm doing a review show about it on the fourth Sunday of the month.
Yeah, it looks solid. I like the art.
Mm-hmm.
WW84 is perfect.
They should have just shipped Gallagher's to it better. Probably.
Okay. Can we? That was a date. That was a date.
I have thoughts on how that friendship should have
developed. That whole
or how it should have already been.
The geeky person turning into a super.
You mean the she's all that trope?
Well, it's been used so many times.
But she's all that.
Like, remember we were talking about? Oh, yeah, we didn't watch
another teen movie. They're like, oh, she took her glasses off. She's hot now. I mean, that's like
we're calling it like they're not going to Catwoman her, are they? And they totally did.
Oh, they 100% did.
And
yes.
Electro and the Riddler and just all these characters that have had dorky glasses that have turned into supervillains. And they did it for this with no twist or nothing special. I don't know. Just seems to me like wasted opportunity. So
okay, we can't spoil any more of it, guys. Even in the chat, somebody hasn't seen it yet. At least want to give it its HBO month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's been on HBO now for.
But then I would absolutely love to have a night live or whatever, have some drinks and talk about it because
you have thoughts,
but I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah,
sure. Let me know. Oh, yeah. Super Nick. Oh my God, Maddie, Omar, Maddie, and Amanda. Hello, all. Hope you're doing amazing. I wanted to get onto Hickman's FF for so long now. Thanks to you, Omar. How can I read it all if not the out of print Omnis? The complete collections or the digital?
Yeah.
And wait for the.
It's on Marvel Unlimited, so
wait for the reprint of the Omnibus.
And honestly, like for a lot of these out of print, Marvel Unlimited can be a little bit difficult to navigate, which I've complained about a lot.
Yes.
But you do have the added bonus of it having all of these things. So, like, for example, I want to read Darth Vader this year. That's wicked out of print. So I'm going to go through Marvel Unlimited to read that. Mm-hmm. That's just, it's your best way.
It is.
Get access to all of those things.
Agree.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, those Star Wars Omnis are selling better. So I think those might come back into print eventually.
Maybe with all the new shows and stuff, I think it's really possible.
I was thinking about
I want to talk about WandaVision for sure.
I
can't wait for it to come out. End of next week, I think, is the
15th.
Are they releasing them one episode a day, or are they doing?
I think they're doing it like one episode a week, like they are with Mandalorian. But I think because they're seeing it stays in, like if you watch like a lot of the Netflix shows that get dropped, they get dropped all at once. Everyone talks about it for like a week, and then it's not in the news cycle that long. But like Mandalorian was in the news cycle for like a month because we had like over a month because we had to watch it by episode. So by the time we get to the ending with the craziness that happened, it's like, So,
I think that's a better option, especially with like the way that like HBO does that too.
HBO does it too, and they should keep doing it too.
That's a better way because I remember Amanda and I talking about this. We talked about how there's never going to be another show like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There's never, ever going to be another show like Game of Thrones where it came on Sunday night, everybody's watching it at the same time, and then they talk about it right afterwards.
But Mandalorian
Mandalorian is in the morning. But you can watch it anytime.
But it just beat Game of Thrones as the most pirated TV show.
What?
Believe it.
Pirated?
Yes, most pirated.
How many people have a shared Disney Plus account? Oh, wait.
Apparently not that many people.
It's not overseas.
So I would say that if you want to talk about like, but The Mandalorian is still, I would say it's up there. Like maybe not, on the water cooler on a Monday you're talking about it, but it's still by week everyone's still kind of talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the only show I've ever watched and benefited from the holy shit they're dumping it all at once has been Cobra Kai season 3. I watched
it. Was phenomenal.
New Year's Day, and I was like, I can't stop watching it. So I watched all 10 episodes, and it was amazing. For all of you that have seen it or care about it, it is the best goddamn TV show. Oh, it's perfect. I love it. They put a lot of love into those characters, and that's why I couldn't reply to comments. I had so many comments from my videos, and I'm like, no, I gotta watch Cobra Kai, baby. This is what I'm doing all day long. So, that's it. Rounding it out.
That is
9:26.
That's pretty good for a Hickman episode.
That's good. I know.
Oh, you rounded it up with Cobra Kai. I just started watching Cobra Kai, and it's so good. I haven't even watched the movies.
I still haven't seen any of it. I feel like I have to just for you.
You haven't seen any of the movies or any of the TV shows?
I've seen Karate Kid.
Have you seen Karate Kid?
See, I've never seen Karate Kid 2, but I still appreciated when
all the Karate Kids I've seen.
You've seen all the Karate Kids?
Yeah, I've never watched Cobra Kai.
Then you should watch Cobra Kai.
Oh my god, Cobra Kai is like the best. It's like this is the way I would have fanficked the entire series.
Okay. It's really good.
I'm gonna watch it since you guys have been hyping it up.
Because I was really skeptical because so many of these shows that have been coming back, like Fuller House or like they had the Will and Grace special, things like that coming out. Like it's a kind of a continuation of the what happened 20, 30 years ago, and I'm like,
I did not include the next Karate Kid nor the freaking Kung Fu Kid with Jaden Smith. So
all of them, I've seen all of them.
Anyways, but it's still they do a much better job than those kind of shows do.
Yeah. So and it was a YouTube show. Like it was a YouTube Red show. I paid for stupid YouTube Red for a month.
I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, I was like, I can't.
Netflix got it or bought it.
Now Netflix got it. It's been picked up for a 4th season. The 3rd season ends in such a come on, where's it at?
But with Netflix, it may end at season 4 because Netflix, their best shows, they like to just drop them dead.
You want me to get Hawk's tattoo? Yes. You want me to get Hawk's tattoo on my back? Hell no. I may get Eagle Fang Karate on my chest though. With the Eagle Fang. Oh yeah.
I love that. She's like, yep, so true.
Dude, Melanie would hate me because I'm gonna get the brand of the sacrifice over here and the.
Oh my gosh! It's a good thing your job now is just to be on YouTube, so no one has any standards on tattoos.
Hey, there are standards on YouTube. Thank you. The haircut too. Oh man, I don't think I've ever done a mohawk ever. No.
His mohawk is serious. Like it's not even faux. It's like a full-on, like insane mohawk.
Yeah.
My daughter likes that mohawk so much. Keeps talking about how much she likes his hair.
How is Ralph? Dude, I was telling him, I'm like, that man is almost 60. She's like, no, she's not. He's in his 40s.
Yeah, and I looked it up. Yeah, he's almost 60. I can't believe he looks like he does. Because, the guy who plays Johnny Lawrence, he, had a hard life, I guess. But Ralph Macchio did not.
He's not using makeup. It's not that he had a hard life. He actually looks good for his age. Look how high he can kick. How many 50-plus-year-olds?
I do enjoy watching those 6-year-old men fight. That is awesome. I'm like, dude, you guys still can do it. I know some of it's probably stunt actors, whatever. But
have you guys watched the new Bill and Ted at all? Speaking of like,
I watched it. It was okay.
It was all right.
I loved it.
I
wrote a portfolio piece in elementary school about how Bill and Ted changed my life. So I'm a big fan.
Johnny Lawrence looks better than Ralph Macchio. Shots fired, Chris.
Shots fired, Chris. Wow.
It's a good look. They're both good looking dudes, but I don't know, man. It's all up. Never mind. I can't even freaking spoil what happens in season 3.
Yeah, you don't.
I am sad that I am not okay with this got canceled.
Sabrina?
Yeah, it was really good. It was based on a comic book. It was really good. It has a girl from It in it.
What was the name of the show?
I'm not okay with this.
I'm not okay with this?
Oh, it had the redhead from It.
Oh, the girl from It. Yeah.
Because Netflix cancels everything all the time. Since 8, I'll never forgive them. Never. Anyways,
Macchio's hairpiece. He's not wearing a hairpiece. That's real. He colors it. He spends as much time as Amanda and Maddie at the
salon. You just
I never colored my hair.
I didn't say
you see all those roots right now.
It.
No gray hairs, but definitely got roots.
I got a lot of gray hairs, but I was born with them, so it's okay.
That's okay.
They look great on you, though.
I know.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with grays. Everybody gets them. I started drinking the banquets after that. Right? That's all my.
Oh, that's right.
The Coors banquet, man. It's like drinking a meal. Omar, you need to catch up on the news. What happened? Did something bad happen? Is the stock market crashed?
Wait, what happened on the news?
You mean like ever eaten? Hell yes, I've eaten. Dude, I'm from Kentucky. Of course I've eaten.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mother-in-law makes so much pan-fried bologna for breakfast.
I grew up at her mother-in-law's house, dude. There was fried bologna everywhere, and I loved it.
Farah and I have time to exercise. That's a bike desk.
Yeah, bike desk on
that. That's where I read Fantastic Four today.
She reads
Yeah.
I missed some stuff. Okay. I will catch up on
Tyler, I love you. Okay, we're good.
What's up, Tyler? That's my...
We talked about Genshin Impact together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Tyler and I talk about Transformers and my taxes. Thanks, Tyler. Okay, fine, Jack. I challenge you. We'll put it on YouTube. Then your mom can make me dinner after I beat you up. And on that note...
with boxing gloves here.
Yeah,
anyway,
it is 9:30.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will be back next week with Hickman's Fantastic Four Part 2. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you liked this video. Comment down below if you're catching us later. Tell us what you thought about Fantastic Four, at least this part. No spoilers for us. And I hope you guys subscribe if you haven't for more videos like this. Don't forget to join our Patreon for to devote for new reader picks of the month, right? Read-throughs, including some new tiers coming up soon. So make sure you start checking that out for when those are announced. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Kim divorced Kanye? That really
That's what I was trying